Welcome to New Sky TV, Explosive. A complete recap of Wang Haozhen and Zhai Yiying's 10 years of subtle romance. Did you spot these details in Sui Sui Huai An? 10 years of subtle romance finally came true. From the impromptu kiss scene in Sui Sui Huai An to their hidden interactions on social media, Wang Haozhen and Zhai Yiying pieced together a complete love story using fragments like secret smiles in the closet, electric fingertips, and synchronized captions. When the composure of a 32-year-old meets the radiance of a 23-year-old, their on-screen and off-screen glances and tacit understanding already revealed their secret. The best relationship is one where you can be your most authentic self. Under the same city's night sky, two seemingly parallel paths quietly intertwined. The seemingly casual echoes on social media, the subtle overlaps in their schedules, are like jigsaw puzzle pieces scattered throughout time. Only when they are carefully pieced together can a complete love story be revealed. Wang Haozhen and Zhai Yiying, this couple who went from on-screen partners to real-life lovers, have written a hidden yet moving story over 10 years. When the scene in Sui Sui Huai An where Sui Sui forcefully kisses Song Haozhen on tiptoe became a classic, few realized that it might be more than just a display of acting skills. Zhai Yiying's lingering smirk after the wardrobe kiss scene in the drama, and Wang Haozhen's immediate reaction when his fingertips touched and immediately recoiled during the behind-the-scenes footage of him helping her adjust her hand gestures, created a wonderful echo between reality and drama. During a joint live stream for Sui Sui Huai An, the two made several mistakes in the direction of their heart-making gestures, and when the bathtub kiss scene was mentioned, Zhai Yiying's ears turned noticeably red, and she fiddled with the microphone for 10 seconds. Wang Haozhen was asked to recreate the sofa kiss scene during a game segment, and he coughed 3 times before barely managing to complete it. These subtle reactions, exceeding those of ordinary co-stars, had already planted seeds of speculation in the hearts of fans that all changing first encounter wasn't actually the formal meeting at the opening ceremony. On the third day of the script reading for Year After Year of Peace, Beijing was hit by a once-in-a-decade downpour. Outside the conference room window, the sky was as black as ink, and raindrops pounded wildly against the glass. The screenwriter was reading the scene where Sui Sui kneels in the snow, begging Song Haozhen to take her in, her voice full of emotion. Zhai Yiying, head bowed, unconsciously picked at the edge of the script, completely immersed in the desperate, all-or-nothing feeling. Song Haozhen's emotion right now isn't pity, it's shock. A steady voice suddenly rang out. He's not seeing a girl pleading for help, he's seeing another version of himself, many years ago, when he was also at his wit's end. Zhai Yiying looked up across the long table. Wang Haozhen had closed his script some time earlier. He didn't look at anyone, his gaze fixed on the raging rain outside the window, his profile exceptionally clear in the dim light. The director, deep in thought, said, Haozhen is right. Haozhen's taking her in, from the very beginning, carried a sense of self-redemption. So here, Wang Haozhen's gaze suddenly shifted to Zhai Yiying, gentle yet penetrating. Sui's eyes can't be too weak. You have to let him see that deep down you have something in you that refuses to accept fate, just like him. At that moment, a flash of lightning streaked across the window. The sudden white light illuminated his deep eyes, and also Zhai Yiying's abruptly contracting pupils. She suddenly understood why he was Song Haozhen later. During many rehearsals, that unspoken understanding always impressed the director. In the bathtub scene, Sui Sui sank into the water, her long hair spreading out like seaweed, and Song Haozhen reached out to scoop her up. The camera zoomed in for a close-up. Water droplets rolled down her eyelashes, slid across her cheeks, and finally fell onto the back of his hand after the director yelled cut. There was a silence on set for several seconds. Wang Haozhen remained in his embrace, his arms as steady as a rock. The water was cold, but his body heat seeped through his soaked costume. Zhai Yiying heard her own heartbeat, and also heard a barely audible sigh from above her. Are you cold? He asked, his voice so low that only she could hear it. She shook her head, water from her hair splashing onto his neck. He seemed to be scalded, his arms tightening slightly before immediately relaxing. After filming that day, Zhai Yiying updated her Weibo with a photo of a bronze artifact from a museum, captioned, "A mark frozen in time." Almost simultaneously, Wang Haozhen's studio account reposted a trailer for a documentary about artifact restoration. Fans cheered in the comments section. Did you two secretly go to the museum together today? The truth was, they didn't meet that afternoon. One was shooting for a magazine in Dongchen, the other was recording an interview in Zipan. But some things were synchronized even before physical distance. Filming Hard to Flirt With was another turning point. In the Republican-era drama, he played a deeply hidden underground worker, and she was a wealthy heiress forced to become a pawn. There was a farewell scene where the lines were written, crossed out, and rewritten repeatedly, with the screenwriter always saying, "It's almost there." The night before filming, Wang Haozhen knocked on Zhai Yiying's hotel room door. He held a heavily revised script, with faint dark circles under his eyes. "I feel something's wrong," he said bluntly. Mr. Shen, his character, wouldn't say that much. He shouldn't have said anything at all, Zhai Yiying interjected. The two looked at each other under the warm yellow light of the corridor. She saw a sudden light in his eyes, like a lighthouse rising suddenly on the dark sea. So the next day, the scene was changed to this. He only needed to look at her deeply, raise his hand to tuck a strand of her windblown hair behind her ear, his fingertips lingering on her earlobe for a moment, then turn and walk into the raging storm. The camera zoomed in on her face, no lines, no crying, only a single tear sliding down her cheek without warning. The director was so excited that he threw down the script on the spot. That's it. That's it. In the behind-the-scenes footage that later surfaced, after filming the scene, Wang Haozhen didn't leave immediately. He walked back, stood behind the monitor, and watched the playback of Zhai Yiying's stare. He watched for a long time, so long that the staff around him quietly lowered their movements. Then he turned and walked towards her as she was removing her makeup, handing her a neatly folded handkerchief. Pure white, with a small HZ. Embroidered in one corner, his initials. It was a custom-made handkerchief he never parted with. October 8 last year, 10:07 p.m. Wang Haozhen's Weibo suddenly updated. There was no caption, only a photo, two bright red marriage certificates placed side by side. In the photo inside, he wore a simple white shirt, she had her hair in a ponytail, their heads slightly touching, smiling like any ordinary, happy person. 3 minutes later, Zhai Yiying reposted it. The caption was only 2 words, "Mine." A minute later, Wang Haozhen commented under her Weibo post, "Forever." What's particularly intriguing are the improvised scenes in the drama. The wardrobe case scene wasn't originally in the script, it was an improvisation by the actors during rehearsals, and the director decided to keep it because of its natural effect. Zhai Yiying's added verbal and coquettish scenes also presented a realism that exceeded the script. Behind this creative freedom may lie the deep trust that has been established between the actors. In Hard to Flirt, the two, playing Zhou Guoqing and Guan Zhi, continue this tacit understanding. The plot of the iceberg colliding with the sunshine in the drama creates an interesting correspondence with the age difference between 32-year-old Wang Haozhen and 23-year-old Zhai Yiying in real life. Viewers noticed that Wang Haozhen reduced his signature frowning expressions in his performance, instead using more subtle micro-expressions to reveal the character's inner feelings. This change in acting style may be influenced by real emotional experiences. Technical discoveries are often the most convincing. Although Wang Haozhen and Zhai Yiying are extremely low-key in public, fans have still discovered many clues through careful observation. Some fans compared the backgrounds of photos posted by the two at different times and found the same furniture and decorations. Even more astute fans analyzed the angles of light and shadow in the photos to deduce that some photos may have been taken at the same time. Content-based interpretation requires more intuition. In a promotional interview for Sui Sui Huai An, when asked about their ideal relationship, Wang Haozhen said, "The best relationship is when two people can be their most authentic selves when they are together." Zhai Yiying said in another interview, "I think the most precious thing in a relationship is the tacit understanding between the two people without words." These answers may seem ordinary when taken individually, but together they show a striking consistency. The most interesting discovery came from fans' observations of the two's interaction patterns. In the behind-the-scenes footage of Sui Sui Huai An, Wang Haozhen was always the first to laugh when Zhai Yiying told jokes, and when Wang Haozhen was working seriously, Zhai Yiying would quietly wait beside him. This natural expression of care and respect far exceeded the scope of ordinary colleagues. Over 10 years, from their first meeting to becoming acquainted, from partners to lovers, Wang Haozhen and Zhai Yiying's story is like a meticulously crafted film, with every detail quietly unfolding at the right moment. Those previously overlooked moments of interaction, those seemingly casual social media posts, and the emotions naturally revealed in their work all ultimately point to the same warm ending. Thank you for watching the video. See you in the next video. Thank you.